Welcome everybody back to Late Night Snacks. It is I, your gal pal, Irish Melly, along with the beautiful DeWanda right there.
Hey, everybody.
Right down here, there's that guy.
Where is he? Ah, there he
Yay.
is.
So if you guys we assume you are here because you want to kiki and spill the tea on RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5, Episode 6, the Charles Family Backyard Ball. God, is that a mouthful?
That's
Incest picnic.
So,
The incest picnic.
well, let's get started. We started with the reveal of the lipsticks, and we saw that it was basically almost unanimous that India go home, although there was one vote for Alexis, so we know whose that was.
India's.
right.
So obviously, yes, India voted for Alexis, but everybody else voted for India. So India went home. Then we come into the workroom and we see India's long message on the mirror.
Here, people.
She took up the whole mirror. She did.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet.
She took up the whole mirror, and she went again with her 4 H's. What was it? Heart, humble, honesty, and I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, honesty was the last one.
But she did check marks next to each one, as in applying to herself, but not others. More insinuations against Alexis. We know who this message was for.
Shade. Shade of it all.
So then we get into the workroom and we find out what the challenge is. And the challenge is the Charles Family Backyard Barbecue Ball.
Incest picnic.
So basically, they had to come up with 2 runway looks. One being your trashy play cousin. Country, wait, what was it? It was a play, it was not trashy, I'm sorry, it was country cousin.
Country cousin, yeah.
Country cousin. And then we had like couture, high fashion backyard barbecue. So with that, we then get into, Rue telling them what it is. Rue comes into the room, talks to each person alone, kind of finds out. We get some more backstory. We got some more backstory on Juju's family life. We found out that she wasn't as lucky as her siblings. They were put up for foster care, and it took them about 5 years to reconnect. And then we find out that's why Juju really got into drugs and alcohol and decided to find herself and overcome that. Hey, Kaylee. Kaylee's here.
Work.
And just some funny one-liners that I thought Juju was just, as usual, just great. She's so great on the fly with those one-liners.
She needs a win.
Yes, she does. Horribly bad. But then we see that Alexis has left a note for Blair. And so Shay has one. Now, at this point, Juju's like, well, where the hell is my letter, bitch? And she's looking around the whole workroom, like going through drawers and cubbies. She's trying to find her letter. And lo and behold, Juju doesn't find one. But who does? But Alexis. And Alexis says, I'm not even going to read this right now because it doesn't matter to me. That doesn't matter. Which I understand Alexis's point in this, not wanting to continue this drama on when the person's still not even there.
Oh, please. The producers want it so bad.
Yeah, they did. They did bad.
Show, yeah.
But I missed the second part. Did Alexis read the letter? I would assume so.
I think Juju read it for her.
Juju read it out loud for her.
And can you fill everybody in on that, Dawn?
Yeah, she first was reading it out saying, oh, well, Alexis, you're a bitch and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't actually what she wrote. She wrote, that she's a good person, and she said a couple other things, and she tried to say some nice things, and Alexis, she kind of like rolled her eyes and whatnot, like she didn't actually believe what was being said. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of one of the right
It was
over.
it was like that awkward moment.
Yeah, because Alexis never
Yeah.
saw the letter, right? She never wanted to look at it. And
Right.
so
No.
Juju was just telling her. Well, Juju first made up a big old story about saying how all these
Well, I'm
scandals.
sure
yeah.
she eventually looked at it or something. We didn't see that on camera.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I suppose it was really nice. That would be India's way. That would totally be India's
Yeah.
way. Just stir up a whole bunch of shit before she goes, and then try to look
Well,
like the
and
crying queen.
Earlier today, I watched an EW Entertainment Weekly interview with all of the queens from All Stars 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like that. So that's kind of what I expected. I expected it to be a build up to this letter and then let it be something where she's just being nice. And that's basically what she did in this interview as well, where she was saying, even with the Derek situation, she was saying, listen, I was somebody else before. I've learned from this. I've grown from this. And, Derek had some words and they said, well, as long as you've learned from it, you've grown from this, then, we're on the same page. It's all an act. So
How many times is that an excuse?
Right.
Yeah. There's always been something about India. Even though I feel bad that she's got to live this legacy of being the girl that was picked up and assaulted on Drag Race. That's the only thing she'll ever be known for. But she hasn't gotten out of that limelight herself because she hasn't gotten it out of her own way. I mean, she's absolutely this big drama stirrer. She wants the controversy around her, but she's playing the victim to it. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, it totally does. And it's totally unnecessary.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But she's gone now. Bye. Moving on.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
See you when I see you.
Not gonna see you.
So then we get into it after this whole letter fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
And they're creating their costumes, so to say.
Yeah.
They're incest attack.
They have to make costumes. They have to make costumes out of like tablecloths and solo cups and all.
It's like the 99-cent store challenge or the mystery box challenge.
Well, they had to use everything that you could find at a backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
They've done this challenge many, probably every season. They just, in fact, Canada just did this challenge. Canada opened their season with this challenge.
Yeah.
Well, and 'tis the season. I mean, it's summertime. It's that seasonal thing.
Yeah, well, it's not just the picnic thing. It's the we're going to give you a box of crap. Make something of it.
Make something out of it. Yep.
And can we just talk about Cracker for a second? Cracker said, I've got a one-up on everyone for this challenge because my mom used to make us make our costumes and everything out of garbage, literal garbage. I'm like, okay. Teach you to appreciate some things, I guess.
Cracker is playing this smart now. So smart. I don't want to see a Cracker win. I really don't. But she is actually she's strategically setting herself up for the win.
Mm-hmm. Jujubee needs a win.
Yeah. She's not going to take it. Unless Jujubee all of a sudden just comes flying out of the gates and just does astronomical week after week. And then she's going to hurt herself because of the vote.
Yeah.
Well, we were discussing this. And I think if anybody should get like a Miss Congeniality award, it should be Juju.
Oh, absolutely. For this season, sure.
By all means.
Yep.
Because I agree with you. I don't think Juju's going to win this. I would love for her to.
I think here's my prediction, and then we'll get back to the episode. My prediction is it's going to be a Cracker Shea showdown, and Shea's going to be the runner-up twice. Because they have mentioned Shea as the runner-up many times this season already.
Yeah.
So they're setting up that drama, and then Cracker's just playing it too smart. Cracker is finding ways to ride right in the middle, not make attention to herself, but continue to win, continue to keep the vote off of her and the attention onto somebody else week by week. Like Cracker's playing the Survivor game and the Big Brother game, not the Drag Race game. And it's really smart. Like with the lip sync tonight, Cracker threw that lip sync. She totally threw that lip sync
on purpose.
Yep.
That lip sync was the worst I think I've ever seen.
Of course, we're not there yet, but
we're not there yet, but still.
Yeah. So we get onto the runway and we see the first look we're doing is the country cousin, and we see Cracker come out honestly, you guys, as soon as you saw it, I know you felt it. And they even said, the Stevie Hicks thing, but I totally felt like I saw Misty Day as soon as I saw that.
Yeah, it was good.
It really was. And I liked that, she played up on the country, like bumpkin cousin thing, but it wasn't your typical Daisy Dukes and your cut off little checkered, plaid checkered, tube top type of thing, because she could have gone that route. And with them having
many of them did.
They thought they were going to, and nobody did.
Well, Juju kind of did.
She kind of did.
Slightly, but it wasn't. Hers was more classy.
Yeah, hers was more comical, actually. I thought hers was funny. In a kind of fashion kind of way.
Well,
it was tongue-in-cheek.
Well, let's start with that then. Let's say then Juju came out, and Juju had her short shorts on, her little crop top, but this big hat. I don't even think I have room. A big hat.
Big hat.
Big oversized hat.
And she was playing up the little saucy little thing. It was cute.
Yeah. And it was hilarious. Juju is just so quick-witted that
timing is perfect. It's damn thing.
Perfection. Even when she was telling her story to Rue in the workroom getting ready, and they're both crying and snot's coming out of her nose. She's crying so much, but she's still laughing. She's still telling jokes.
Yep. She'll get right to that brink of that really, really deep moment, and then have a quick bring the energy back up in the room.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is covering up stuff. So Juju's been through a lot of shit, and so I think she's learned to put that mask on. And it served her well in situations like this.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the other ones.
Well, then we did Blair, and Blair came out as like the Daytona 500 typical country bumpkin from Indiana.
I wasn't that impressed with that one, actually.
I wasn't impressed with either of those.
I thought it was a really cute look, but do I think it was necessarily in competition to what some of the other girls had done? No. But it was cute. I liked it. I mean, Blair always performs and looks amazing, even in whatever.
She's become a fashion queen.
She really could, and she has the face for it. I mean, she has just the way she does her makeup more natural. Even it's just I think she's definitely got a look. It just unfortunately was not necessarily fully what they were looking for. And then they even made the comment that they were looking for a little more trashy when she came out because of the portraying. Trashy cousin rather than country.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, was there.
Hairless Potter.
He was there.
Hairless Potter.
And then we had Shay. Now, Shay...
strange.
Yeah.
I don't think she missed the mark.
I think so too. And not just with her country cousin. Well, I mean, her country cousin was funny to me because it was very stereotypical of these big family reunions where everybody wears an airbrush shirt in memory of someone who's not there at the reunion.
Right.
And I thought that was cute, the play on that. And just the whole idea of the Cheetos, not the Cheetos. I thought that was cute, but it wasn't as good as I think it could have been, like you said.
Right.
It didn't land. It was
right. And then we get to the high fashion.
Alexis, what about Alexis?
Barbecue. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Duh. I'm thinking Alexis is gone. Alexis isn't gone. So yeah, Alexis came out as like the country Puerto Rican cousin who's like, give me my money. You owe me money from 10 years ago. I want my money.
Very, very in the heights. Very, that all that New York Puerto Rican kind of look that you see. I thought Alexis was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So then we get to the high fashion part, and we had Cracker came out, and. This was just, I love this idea of the high fashion with only using the backyard barbecue and, backyard stuff, because it gave them a chance to be very creative, much more so than just having your clothing already ready in these fashions. So it gave them the opportunity to force them to be creative as well, too.
See, and I think the challenge and then the high fashion aspect that was thrown into a challenge, I think it threw them off. Because I don't think that they were, because they were so locked into this picnic thing, and basically all Rue was looking for was a high fashion runway look, but using these materials, and so some of the high fashion looks were just off. It was.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, let's talk about Cracker's look. Cracker came out with whatever you call it, shuttlecock, badminton, birdie.
Yeah.
They all mean the same thing, depending on where you come from is what you call it. As Shay pointed out later.
Yep.
But it's more comical, obviously, to call them shuttlecocks for this show.
Oh, sure.
So, Cracker had a dress and an outfit just completely made out of badminton and shuttlecock materials, and the straps. She had the truck straps to hold things down. And she lined them up and did this pretty little halter with them. And I thought it was great. That was a great use of material.
Yeah.
You couldn't even tell that's what it was until they showed up close and you knew what it was. And then we had Blair came out, and Blair was going more for what I think was like the I'm out of the pool, but I'm rich and I look fabulous look. Which I kind of got. That was very apparent.
Yeah.
But it did look, as Carson pointed out, it did look messy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. And especially because Blair had been bragging before about family reunions and everyone loving her high fashion and everything she brings and that she does.
Well,
so I was expecting something like phenomenal.
It's these moments with queens like Blair who, come out of the gate with all of these really, really expensive high fashion looks and claim that they're a fashion queen. And, there's a couple of them last season that, everything's going to be top notch and they're going to be A+, and it's all going to be designer and high fashion. And then you strip all that down, you tell them make something right there on the spot. And
yeah, they don't know what to do.
How young they are. Yeah, you can tell that that somebody else makes all their other high fashion shit.
Exactly.
Because when it comes down to them, they don't quite hit the mark.
Right.
And then Juju came out. And Juju and I was waiting to see what this was because in the workroom we had seen Juju cutting out the watermelons.
Yeah.
And I was waiting. I'm like, what is she going to do with the watermelon? And let's just say, out of the high fashion looks, this was my favorite.
Mine
Juju,
too.
Juju looked amazing. This looked like something that could have been high fashion. And I hated the fact that Carson had to point out the uneven alignment of the seams. Because with the curves, you couldn't even tell that wasn't the curve stretching the material.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. It didn't, and it looked like he was nitpicking as if they had all this time and sewing machines and everything else to put all this great fabric together.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem to point out as critically on anyone else when it came to lines and seams and things like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. I have a weird feeling about Juju this season.
And so then let's see, Cracker, Blair, Juju, then Shay. Shay came out with this backyard wedding bride look thing.
Wedding look.
I don't know, but she had assless chaps on made out of a tablecloth, a blue checkered tablecloth.
Biker's wedding.
Right. I don't even know I'd call it that. I have no idea. All it was wedding wise, but she had flowers and she threw a veil on.
Yeah.
But I get she was trying to tell a story with this, and I get that with the monologue. But I didn't get the story from the visual.
You shouldn't have to tell a story. You shouldn't have to go out there and make a big old explanation about what's going on. You should just walk out there, and then people start getting the story in their head.
Right. Exactly. And Alexis came out looking fabulous, but again, looking very quinceañera. Which is
okay for Alexis, though.
Okay for Alexis, that's Alexis's signature look, really.
Right.
Which she looks amazing in, but I was hoping to see something a little more out of the box.
But see, for Alexis, though, if she was at a barbecue with her family, you would see that.
Exactly.
It was right on point. Yeah.
But we're not at her family's barbecue. We're at RuPaul's barbecue.
Right. But she's thinking in her head, barbecues
Exactly.
that are, she knows what barbecues
And
are
I
to
think
her.
that was a big part of the problem, like you said, is that unfortunately they were getting in their own heads.
Yep.
They were being too critical with it. They were
Yeah,
trying to
focused on
think
the barbecue thing.
too tight on it, where it's like, just let it flow.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Create a look
Right.
using these materials. That's what the challenge is.
Exactly.
Create a look using these materials. That's it.
And Alexis's look, by the way, let's point out, Alexis did the solo cups.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I thought turned out amazing. Alexis's look, high fashion look, looked great with these materials.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
Mhm.
I would have to say, you know, that was one of my top high fashion looks. But definitely Jujubee stole it for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. See, okay, so let's talk. Well, and then Blair, or not Blair, Cracker wins. Wins the challenge.
Yeah, and then Cracker won.
From this particular
And,
challenge,
and we didn't say the guest judge this week was BB Rexa, musical artist BB Rexa.
Mhm.
see, from this challenge alone, because that was it. The ball was it. And first off, this is an all-star season, and there was only 2 looks in a ball. That threw me because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
in
that
a
was
regular season,
weird.
there's 3 or 4 looks in a ball, and usually 3. And there's only 2 looks, and it was just the crafty challenge that they do, like usually like episode 1, like an early challenge.
Yeah.
And that was a big, post kind of far into the season challenge. I was like, wow, they're like really cutting it easy on these guys.
Mhm.
But with Juju, I'm starting to get a really weird feeling that the judges or the producers don't want her to win, or they want her to win, and they're
I see that. It totally feels like that. It feels like they're setting her up for a Miss Congeniality win, not a season win.
Because she should have had this challenge won. It wasn't even a question. She should have had
Well,
the challenge.
exactly. And it seems like had Carson not pointed out the issue with the alignment of the teams, then Juju would have won.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, okay, an alignment thing is going to throw your entire look concept design thing off. To Cracker's win, that was just kind of, it was okay, well constructed, kind of well put together.
Right. It was creative. It was very creative and clever.
Story, a through narrative line like Juju's.
It didn't look high fashion to me. It looked like we were going, maybe high fashion if we were going to the Kentucky Derby.
I mean, what Juju did to transform those materials into what she did was.
And let's point out, as she fondly told everyone, not being able to sew.
Yeah, she doesn't sew.
So something's up. Something's amiss. It's either a really, really good news for Juju that they're trying to keep her right in the middle, and then pump her up for a win at the end, which is good because this is a survivor type vote.
But I don't see it. I just this far in the competition, I don't see it.
It's hard to tell because of the survivor-like aspect of the game. It's like with this type of vote, with this many people still here, you kind of want to hide. You don't want to put yourself forward like that because look,
if that's the case, like you said, Juju's playing it smart. Then
Alexis and Shay, they have like all the limelight in the world, and like when they go up to vote, even when Juju goes up to vote, she's like, "Should I do it?" He holds up Shay's lipstick, because those are the top competitors right now. And Cracker's playing it smart too because Cracker's really the top competitor right now, and nobody's looking at Cracker.
Well, we're at 23. We haven't got to the lip sync, so let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
We get to the lip sync, and we find out the lip sync assassin is. Go ahead for it, Mike. You like it. We have Roxy Andrews as our lip sync assassin. We could have picked better. Yes. Trinity would have been great. Bob would have been great. But I did not. I get that Roxy's big on these transformations and these reveals, but I didn't even hardly get that. Other than we got
Roxy did one infamous big wig reveal before the wig reveals were a big thing back in her original season, and it keeps getting played on GIFs like over and over and over. And now all of a sudden, Roxy's a saint. What really disgusts me about Roxy is always carried. She's got friends that always carry her through the competition. Her first competition, the way she treated Jinx was absolutely disgusting. Then she comes on All Stars with this, "Oh, I'm better and I've been cured." She was carried by the same friends in her season of All Stars, and it's just she rubs me wrong. So rubs me wrong. Sorry, that's my rant.
Yeah.
So then we see Cracker. Oh, go ahead, Dawn.
I did not like this lip sync at all.
No, I didn't either.
First off, it was by Ariana Grande, who was just as bad as Roxy Andrews.
By Ariana Grande. And it was just, there was no energy in the room whatsoever. First of all, it was horrible song choice. The song had no energy, so there was nowhere for them to go with it in a way. But you should still work with what you have. And it didn't feel as if either one of them were truly putting in what they could.
Yeah, when you do, and that's an interesting twist on this season because one holds the group's elimination and one holds their own elimination. So it's like this could have been a week where both of them were trying to throw it, because Roxy may not have wanted to come on and been the person to stand there and announce the who was going home, because Roxy's like that. She tries to play victim, tries to play innocent, and Cracker obviously threw it because Cracker didn't want to eliminate because it keeps the spotlight off of her. So, but at the same time, the song was really, really low energy. And when you do a diva song like this that's low energy, the whole point is about the mouth. It's
the drama of it.
Give
Your facial expression.
Lip sync when it hits all those notes and all those keys. And are you bringing, like she said, bringing the drama, bringing it to it, not the little dance moves, because there is no dance moves to this. So
exactly.
Horrible performance.
There was a few times where Cracker tried to be funny with it, which I was like, okay, you're almost there, but give me more. And then it was like it would fall flat again. Yeah. So,
Juju and Raven in their season of All Stars, they did a lip sync together where they were in an embrace almost the entire time, crying, and it was one of the best lip syncs in the world.
Yeah,
because it was all about this. It was all about the emotion right here, and they
So then with the lip sync, Roxy wins.
Yeah.
And that's when we find out then
that why Roxy won. What a cheap stunt! Why Roxy won? She did a reveal where she stripped away 18 layers of her clothes one by one through every
and showed her ass cheeks.
And it ended up being her ass cheeks were showing. She jiggled her ass cheeks. That was the highlight of the lip sync.
That was And then Roxy won and Cracker got what she wanted, I'm sure. And then I think
it's going to come out the same way. I think Cracker would have voted the same way.
Unless I'm sure, but she didn't want to be the one responsible for it.
See, I think Cracker wants to do something crazy, like vote a Shay out, vote a Juju out. But I think there's too many people left, and I don't think Cracker would try and pull something of that yet.
Yeah. Right. Well, also because of the Alexis and India incident with Shay that we just had, she doesn't want to put herself in that position so that Shay, who is her competition, then votes her out.
See, what's funny is I loved the rules at the beginning of the season, and now that we're getting down to it, I actually kind of hate it now because you've got to play all of those game aspects into this, all the Big Brother Survivor type stuff into this.
It's not just about the competition and the actual drag.
It's no longer a talent competition. It's about strategy. This is a season of strategy.
Yeah,
and it's cool. It's fun to watch, but not on RuPaul.
No.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man.
And
there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are reviewing this season that are kind of feeling
the lipstick that Roxy is holding is Alexis's. Alexis does then go home. Hey, I'm a little bummed. I really liked Alexis.
I do too. I like Alexis.
She was going to win, but I thought she would have had a good heart on her.
Yeah.
I don't think Alexis did any good for herself this season trying to get out of Angie's spotlight.
Right.
Yeah.
But, Alexis is a legend. She's a season 2 queen. She went all the way to the top 3 in season 2. I think she was like runner up season 2. Or no, it's third. Yeah, she went to top 3. And she's on first All Stars. She's one of the first Puerto Rican queens ever on the show. She's a legend. She'll always be a legend.
Yes. The competition was too tight for Alexis this time, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that whole the India bullshit, the India poll didn't help her either.
No, it didn't. It put her in the spotlight to be a target, like you said. She couldn't.
Really smart of India, though. You think about it,
and be quiet about everything.
Yeah, you would think about India's game, how she played that was really smart because Alexis with the language thing and the way Alexis has that whole resting bitch attitude, even though she's sweet as can be. I think India kind of knew or kind of fed off Alexis's demeanor that if I throw this on Alexis, she's going to come off looking defensive about the whole thing and looking like she's covering something up. And I don't think Alexis was trying to do that at all. I think Alexis was just frustrated. But I did go back and watch that whole episode, and there was some talk in that episode.
There was talk.
Yeah.
There was talk from a lot of people, though. What it is what they're telling us that supposedly happened is what they didn't air.
Correct.
And that's why we don't know.
You know where they're going to air that? They're going to air that on the finale. If there is a truth behind it. If there's no truth behind it, we'll never see anything because there's nothing to air.
No, they're right.
I don't think there's truth behind it because I think they would have aired it that episode. I think that would have played into the storyline of the
Yeah,
drama.
I think so too. I think we would have seen a flashback clip of
Mhm.
when it happened.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So with that being said, that wraps up
All right.
RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Tomorrow, we're going to visit the Great North.
Our good brothers and sisters or cousins to the north.
Yep.
We
So
will
we are going
back here
we are
tomorrow
going to
night.
be covering Canada. We're going to be covering 2 episodes tomorrow. I think, did we decide our show's really going to be on Thursday, though? Now that they're dropping that on regular time? Okay. So we're going to be covering, just like Fridays, Canada on Thursdays right after it airs. So,
Right. Well, we're going to
well,
do a recap of episode 1 and episode 2 tomorrow night.
Catch up.
Yep. With that being said, we love you. We love you for being here. Be sure to sashay away. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.